It's your boy Constant 34. Back from my first Phish show ever at the Garden. We was Weekapaw grooving. We had the simple joy of listening to Phish live. And they left me wanting more. Turn up in this mud right now. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Oh, wrong band. Shout out to the Matchbox 20. Shout out Rob Thomas. All right. So this is the post show. The post show. Wow. 3:55 a.m. here. Got back from the Garden. Had to take the train, then drive back. People speed demoning and across lanes. Thank the Lord that I made it back safe. Amen. Amen. So, this is just some of my initial thoughts, my initial reaction to the show. Let's bring up the set list. I will have a longer video for my Phish Noob series, so tune into that. It should be in the next week that I should have that. Wow. This was a great experience. I'm glad I went. I'm glad. I have to thank Phish at MSG on Twitter, as that account posted the ticket drop a couple months ago, and I got a seat behind the stage. This is where I was sitting. Shout out to my dude. I think his name was his real name is Mark, but I forgot his nickname. I think it was Gupper or I can't remember. I'm gonna mess it up, but my good OG friend, been to 50 MSG Phish shows alone, let alone all across the country. He was really helping me out. He was very kind and cordial and really just encouraging my dive into the live Phish scene. Thank you for all the other Phish accounts. Mayor of Maze on Twitter, Stupid Almanac on IG, who's been just feeding me all sorts of information. Thomas Rizzo again for giving me a copy right here of Bittersweet Motel. But real quick, I just want to give a quick summary. Then I'm gonna hit the bed. Then I got my own gig tomorrow at church. Amen. Need the organ. Da, 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 da. This was a tale of two regular sets. The first set was lit. The first set to me was better than the second set. And it's simply because, as somebody who's been listening to Phish for the past year intently on certain songs, certain flows, this gave me a lot of classics, from Fluffhead to Mike's Song to Hydrogen to Weekapaw, all in one little row, right? Simple, right? And Divided Sky and First Tube. Now, this Egg in a Hole, I had not heard of this, but this is apparently the second time it's been played ever. So that's probably why. But this whole first set, one of the big things I was worried about is, listen, I've been listening to hours upon hours of Phish, but like, I thought I wasn't going to know certain songs. Everything in the first set except Egg in a Hole, I knew. I knew it. I loved it. Everything I wanted, I told my guy next to me, Uh, I said I wanted Mike's song. I would love a hydrogen there into Weekapaug. If it's not there, it is what it is. I said I wanted Divided Sky. I got Divided Sky. So this first set was everything that I was hoping for. And I'm like, listen, they could walk off stage right now. I'd be happy. Right. It's my first show. Give me like 10 or 15 shows before I start complaining. All right. like some of the haters or here. Um, but one thing I love is, listen, I know this fan base is very critical in some sectors, but I know there's very, very positive people. When I was at the show, when I was physically at the show, all the stuff I see on the forums was not present. Everyone was dancing and grooving. They was losing their mind up in here at, to me, the best arena, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. So the crowd was awesome. Everyone was having a good time. People were passing around the love of everything, of good vibes and things like that. But yeah, man, like it was just amazing. But this first set was everything. One of the things that I found about going into this world of jam bands, and even people on the fringe of jam bands, you may not consider them jam bands, but they're in this same community. They know Trey, they know some of the other, they're on different lineups and bills, whether it's, a mountain jam, whether it's a Jazz Fest, whether it's a lock-in. Shout out to everyone down there at lock-in that makes that awesome festival work. One year I'm gonna get down there. Too many things on my bucket list music wise, but um, when you go to see certain acts, you may think that the if you're not into this world of jam bands, you start to think, hey, they don't really have dark music. They have all this happy hippie music, freaking wooks, like, right, like that's what the stereotype is in this jam band. Like it's all this mixolydian and chill, okay? Mixolydian scale and chill. Grateful Dead, same thing. Pretty much every jam band that I've gone to see, when you go to the show, they have not only some dark stuff, but they got some turn up rock and roll. It's not just your jam band type of flow. And I want to show you an example of this. So we're going to take Humphreys McGee triple wide. This reminded me of First Tube. Okay. Shout out to Humphreys McGee. I think Joel Cummins may have been there. I don't know. Let me see if I can. I don't know, but Joel is awesome. He is the keyboardist for Humphreys McGee. If you have not seen Humphreys, go see them. But one of the first things when my boy took me to Humphreys McGee and also asked me to officiate his wedding, which was a nice little fun run, of being asked to do officiate his wedding. I was like, am I gonna be like one of the best men or whatever? Like, nah, I want you to marry me and my wife. And I did everything. I did it. I made it. I don't know if he was there, but I don't listen. He said he was in New York. He had a post, but I hope if he was there, I hope he enjoyed it. But the triple wide is a song. When I went to my first Humphrey show, I'm like, yo, these guys really get dark and heavy. And I know that some of their music, like I was listening to their studio stuff, is dark and heavy. And so let's listen to this triple wide here from an intro video I have. I have a video on this. So listen to this. Why do I play that? Because this type of hype up reminds me of First Tube. And I had listened to this. I've been doing a mix of both because what I find with jam bands, from Grateful Dead to Humphreys to everything, when you're short on time, when you can soak in their studio stuff, you can catch more just themes and ideas. And then when you get to the show takes it to the next level. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been listening to a lot of studio albums, because when you listen to the studio albums of any decent jam band and then you go see it live, they just take the studio version to the next level. So I have been listening to this. I was on my little walks every day, listening to first two. Bah, 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 da, da. I was like, hi, everyone's like, how you? I was like, how you doing, sir? How you doing? Like I was all like, da, 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 power walking. This song gets me turned up, but being there live, this took this thing to the next level. I was so pumped up, man. Like, forget Seven Nation Army. No offense to Jack White and his ex-wifey, right? If I ever make it pro, even though I'm 31 years old at anything, I grew up playing hockey. If I make it pro in the NBA football, I want First Tube to be on as we're coming out. That song, let's listen to it. This is shout out to Jeff Shapiro on Twitter. He had this recording. Let's listen to it here. Like, and that does not even do it justice. That video does not even do it justice. But again, shout out to Jeff Shapiro. It doesn't. When this thing came on, it was a freaking vibe. Okay. It was a vibe. A vibe. And there were even other parts of it. The whole encore, Wilson, Dave Wilson and Dave to David Bowie. It was so much rock. Da 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 da. Wilson. Like, and I again I'd heard some. I honestly didn't. I don't know why I didn't expect Wilson. Maybe because a lot of the Wilsons that I've heard are from the older Fish 1.0 and 2.0. I had not. Now again, I think it was I think that it was in one of the Garden live releases on iTunes or Apple Music, but I felt like, all right, I'm probably not gonna get. Well, I don't know why, but we got it right, and I know it's a song that's been played frequently, but I was happy to get it. I was really happy to get it. David Bowie, that thing is smooth as a mother, and but these two songs freaking rock. And I love how you can go from jazz to rock. That's the one thing that's driven me into this jam band universe in the last 10 to 12 years is the way they can seamlessly transfer from one to another. Let's talk Divided Sky. Divided Sky was one of those songs that I wanted. And it was just such a special moment. That was probably, see, other parts of this show had more energy than Divided Sky. They had me dancing more, but I love that song. Like the tone of Trey on Divided Sky, and it seemed like I don't know because I got my guitar pedal board over there. I don't know if they turned him up, if he had a boost pedal, if he had some other light distortion pedal that turned him up, but it felt like during Divided Sky and some other parts that Trey was turned up a little more and his guitar felt a little bit like louder. Like it had a little more presence. And I think about my boost pedal on my guitar on my uh pedal board, my TC electronic, what is it called? I can't even see it, but it's a TC electronic boost pedal. And it was like I love the tone for both Paige and Trey on this Divided Sky. It is just a beautiful piece of music. Um, I still think, and listen, Phish community, don't ban me. I yelled it out at the show, and people are like, "What are you doing?" I think when they get to the little stops at the beginning, da 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 da, everyone should yell out tequila. If we can make that a thing, that I would love that. I just every time I hear that, I want to say tequila. Right? Da, 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 tequila. Divided sky, the wind blows high. Like I would love that. Anyway, that's just my push there. But Divided Sky was awesome. And the intro music to my Phish Noob series is I Am Hydrogen into Weekapaw Groove. So to get Mike's song and I Am Hydrogen and Weekapaw Groove all in a row, it just felt like an old school type of feel there to get all three of those. I know that it's, it is still, it's been played in this, what is this, 4.0 Fish for, but it just made me think about some of the older shows where I saw this little flow. I know sometimes they've done Mike's song and Weekapaw, and they actually made like a little sandwich of 3 or 4 songs. Stupid Almanac on Instagram showed me a show where they did that. Whereas Mike's song, Weekapaw, but there was like 3 or 4 songs in between, or I think it was the beginning and end of the set. But I just thought it was nice to get those songs and that I Am Hydrogen to get that in real life. Man, it was real dope. Really nice little medley. What else? Divided Sky as well. I forgot the key change at the end was real was cool. The end of Divided Sky is awesome. One of the things that it's seen in Divided Sky and it was shown throughout the night. I love Trey's playing on Divided Sky, especially at the end of this song, where it's like da 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 da. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of there was this old video game, well not old. Oh, Wade says glad I got Divided Sky. Thank you. Yes, I'm ecstatic about that. It just was awesome. But this is something I've seen this again in a jam band setting. But some of the runs at the end of Divided Sky, and it happens that like I've heard live versions. Trey's playing reminds me of playing SSX Tricky or SSX. There's a couple games back in the early 2000s, and it feels like you're going some of his runs where he's holding on to notes. And again, this is common in other jam bands. I think about String Cheese Incident and Michael Kang on his mandolin and his he has a I believe he has a mandolin and his other electric guitar setups that he has. When he holds out these notes, it feels like I'm going downhill in SSX Tricky with the boost. You used to be able to have like a red boost color, but I love how he's riding and he's sustaining that pitch. And there's all this things going around him from Page and from Mike Gordon and even what Fishman is doing on the drums. I love how Trey is able to hold out the note. Da, 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 da. Like it feels like you're going downhill with the little boost color on SSX Tricky. And he's just going and he switches. Da, 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 da. I love, and he did it in a couple other songs, but I love his tone. I love the sustain. I don't know what pedals he's using for that, but it seems like obviously he's able to let that note out. I know my compression pedal. I have an MXR Dynacomp that kind of allows you to have that pitch extend out a little longer. So I don't know if that's. Again, I don't know. Again, I'm still learning. Trey, I've learned. Jerry Garcia and Warren Haynes and John Mayer with Dead and Company, all their different setups and their pedals and all this stuff. And Trey is very new but exciting to explore some of the stuff he does on guitar. But I love some of those extensions of the pitch and of the tone and not playing 55 notes per minute. The second set, though, I do want to explore it a little more. Like I'm gonna actually go back and I'll try to document this if I have time. I got a lot going on in my life, really good stuff going on in my life, but a lot of stuff. But if I can get out a video, I want to listen to some of these songs back. I knew Prince Caspin, but I didn't know like Gotta Jabu, I didn't know that song, right? Always Wanted It That Way, Lonely Trip, Walls of the Cape. Just don't, I probably, maybe I've heard it in the hours and hours, but I don't remember those. But but I didn't, I want to listen back to them and see how I feel about them, and then listen back to the show after I've heard other versions of them just to see what it, how I feel about it after. But that second set, there were some great things that I heard in the second set, but I just didn't know the music, and that's what I was worried about about the first set. I thought the first set was going to be some songs I didn't know, and then the second set was going to have a Divided Sky, a Punch You in the Eye, Hydrogen, We Could Pod. Like I thought it was going to be stuff like that. The reverse happened, but I do want to listen back to that stuff. Now the OG, I call him the OG because he's been over 50 MSG, much more across the country. He said the second set didn't have anything that was like rare. He said, these were songs that were all right, but they're not his top 15 songs. Like the second set didn't have anything in his top 15, top 20. So he said, like, listen, you're right. Your thought of the first set being better is like, yeah, I think the first set was better. But the encore, man, with encore was awesome. A 3-song encore, and just awesome. Oh, a double. So okay. Oh, a tube screamer into another tube screamer. Okay. Yeah, I have a TS. Do I have a TS9? I think I have a TS9 over at my pedal board, or TS10. I can't remember which one I have. Okay, so oh, that's dope. So he's using a double tube screamer. See, my guitar pedal board, I have a um what I typically will do is sometimes I swap it out because I'll have two delays, but I'll put my um Boss, that's the overdrive distortion combo pedal, into my tube screamer, and I'll get some unique sounds there. Or I'll have my overdrive super over. I think my regular Boss overdrive or OD2 or whatever it is into that. Okay, so he's doing that's pretty dope. So a double tube screamer, that's really cool. And I actually love that guitar pedal. I love it. It's my favorite overdrive pedal is the tube screamer, and I know it's a classic, right? And there's a couple of different versions of it. TS9, TS10, TS, this is like a 10101 or TS, I don't know, something like that. But that's thanks for that information, Wade. And I'm open to learning all sorts of stuff. I know I'm new at this, and I'm loving, like I said, what I'm hearing so far. But yeah, this is an overall great show. Like I said, that first set just really spoke to me the most. I love the lights. Now, I know you could try to walk around and move or sneak into an aisle. I did not walk around the building to the other side to look at the stage head on. I stayed in my seat. I know some people had said, hey, you may be able to do that. I stayed right here. But I am interested in Hartford. And this is the other thing. If you're watching this video and you're going to be in Hartford and you have a tailgate, I would love to. I'm going to Hartford. That's the only other show this year. I have way too many other shows. This is like actually this is been the hardest summer of my concert life to say no to shows. Everybody is touring to try to make back the COVID money. Anyway, I digress to say that's why I'm only going to 2 Phish shows this year, is because there's so many shows. Like I'm going to 2 Goose shows next month, and then like after the Goose Westville weekend, the Abbott brothers are coming to Westville like 2 days later. I literally have it's so hard to say no to shows. There's so many great shows. But I stayed here. I stayed right behind the stage. I've sat in the section below this for Billy Joel. I love the view behind stage, being able to see everyone do their thing and see how they interact, and see Trey come over to Fishman's, and that's like right over there to kind of give some signals and start some things by the drummer. And I think the thing about Trey is his phrasing, the phrasing that he does in his solo, the way he goes up a scale is awesome because he doesn't overpower everyone else per se. Now, there's certain times he needs to shine, but the way he kind of fiddles and noodles, and I saw this when I was listening to or I heard it when I was listening to him play Dave Matthews Band song "So Damn" or Dave Matthews solo song "So Damn Lucky." How he didn't overpower Dave. I will say though, live, I wish I had, and again, I'm behind the stage. I wish Page was turned up a little more. The bass was fine. Was it Mike Gordon was fine. I wish Page now in the record, and this always happens, right? You get a soundboard audio or you get an awesome taper audio, and it's a little more blended and mixed, especially the soundboard stuff. I wish I heard a little more Page raging, Page side, rage side, as I've heard. It is the rage side. I was looking at the crowd. But I would like a little more Page in the mix to be a little more present from behind the scene. Again, I don't know how it was on the other side. I've been to tons of venues where you can sit one spot, one show, and it sounds like this, and then the next show you're higher up or you're to the left or to the right, and it sounds more fuller. So I know they're not doing the mix from behind the stage, but I wish it was a little more Page. And if you look at my picture, I was kind of in the middle, slightly towards the Fishman, Mike Gordon side. But I just wish it was a little more Page. But other than that, I mean, this band knows the arena. This band knows MSG. MSG is a world class arena. The sound overall was very, very solid. And again, I think they seemed to make an adjustment where they had Trey turned up for like this Divided Skies when I first noticed it, but it seemed like for certain songs they had him dialed in, or he had a pedal that activated. And again, I don't know which of those it was, but it seemed like he was dialed. Like there were certain times like, all right, we got to do this. I love the clean sound of Divided Sky. I love how they like whatever Trey was doing, whatever the sound people were doing. I thought it was awesome to get that clean sound and he go back to a little bit more distortion. Um, when he had at the end, right? So I think that was pedals, right? That had to be pedals where he's turning off those tube screamers and has a more cleaner sound. Then he's doubling those up. But I think it was real great. So this 28 minutes. That's all. This is all I'm going to do right now. If you're interested in this content, if you're interested in hearing a Phish Noob's perspective, I should have some more content. Being ambitious, I have a lot of shows. I have half marathons. I have baseball games all spring and summer and fall. Um, I want to try to on the Live Fish app. I want to try to listen through some of the weeks of the like if when the tour starts. I want to only go into one more show. I do want to try to listen through some shows. Like let's say it's a week where they're in this part of the country, or like Deer Creek when they have the 3 night stand. I do want to try to listen to through those on the Live Fish app, and then kind of give my thoughts about what I'm like, how I feel about these from as a newer fan. All right, I'm learning this song for the first time. Oh, I know this song and I've heard it 3 times before this tour. I want to look at some of the set list trends. What's interesting is it seems like most, if not all of these songs were played in 2021, which is interesting because Phish does not like they'll go a whole week without repeating a song. They go this whole MSG run without repeating a song, but they seem like every song was played in 2021. And I know there's certain shows where they haven't played a song in 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, right? I know that does happen, but it was interesting. I want to start to look at the set list variety. This is something I look at with other acts that I'm into to see what they're doing, but they definitely mix it up. Obviously, I know that's the big thing with Phish. They're not going to repeat 3 night stands. Uh, the Creakin' Weekend, right? The Gorge last year, the Fine Pine of Alpine, or that's I just made that up. That's horrible. But I know those like they're not going to repeat stuff. So I'm interested to see what type of trends we get. but there was a lot of stuff also from Mexico. But hey, I couldn't afford to go to Mexico, so maybe next year, But I didn't have 3 4G from Mexico, so I guess it is cool that hey, you go to you go to MSG, which is a little more accessible to the average fan than Mexico, and you get some of the stuff from Mexico. They were working on it in Mexico, and then you get a version of that here. Oh, it looks like they have rig breakdowns. I will look that up. I will look that up. That's awesome, and that's one of the cool things about when you get into bands. And I'm a guitar player myself. As I said, I got a gig actually, my church gig, which I do. I play for the youth church band here. It's not those boring acoustic Christian, la, 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 thank you God, praise God. No, our church gets lit. We get lit at our church. And I'm one of those like, hi Jesus, like that. There's a video of people playing on the plane, right? Like no, that's not how our church gets down. All right, we're not one of those vanilla churches. All right, we have a great time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you Wade for all the information. I am always willing to learn. Put in the comments if I say something wrong, if I did something wrong, let me know. I don't mind being corrected. I don't mind learning. But it's your boy ConcertViz34, YouTube ConcertViz34, Twitter, Instagram, same handle, ConcertViz34. I just changed it. I had my Grateful Dead City Field set up that was here. Now I just changed it to Phish at MSG. MSG is my favorite arena for everything. If you didn't see the preview show, I've seen UConn men's basketball, my favorite basketball team for college. I've seen them win a Elite Eight game versus Michigan State here. I was at a Knicks playoffs game last year with my dad. Family friend got us tickets. My dad's a huge Knicks fan, and that was a special moment. The second game, post-pandemic, second home playoff game, it was like the biggest event indoors in the state of New York last May, game 2. And then obviously they expanded to it was like 90% capacity. Then they did 100% like later that year. But been there. I've seen Billy Joel, my Billy Joel poster up there. I've seen all sorts of stuff at the Garden. I've seen some UConn neutral site games at the Garden. They beat Syracuse some years ago. I've seen what else? I've seen 21 Pilots. I've seen Dave Matthews Band last November. So I love this venue, the best basketball venue in the world, in my opinion, to see a basketball game. It's the best venue to see a concert in the world. That so far, I need to go to a couple more venues, arenas. That is arenas. Obviously, there's amphitheaters and there's smaller theaters like the Beacon, where the poster behind me over there is my Allman Brothers Beacon poster. But MSG is the world's most famous arena. It's the best arena to see a live show, in my opinion, so far. If someone wants to fly me out to the LA Forum and the Staples or Crypto.com arena, I'll check out those venues too. Someone wants to fly me out to the United Center in Chicago, just to confirm that I'm not crazy. But I really don't think there's a better arena than MSG. All right, it's your boy ConcertViz34. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. I am out.
Joker, have you seen him around with a stone cold cap that he wears like a crown? his striped stockings and heard his sad tale about the kids under the carpet and the purple humpback whale. Here come the ambassadors, they